When cast to play a superhero, life gets serious. No more alcohol, and you eat a ton of chicken breast, steamed broccoli, and protein shakes. And you spend hours each day in the gym because fans count on you to portray their favorite superhero. Do you think you'd have what it takes? Prove it by watching this video and trying some of the routines out and report back to us. Before we get started though, make sure you take a quick moment to click on that subscribe button. You'll join our notification squad and stay up to date with these types of videos and more. Can you guess which movie is represented by these emojis? Stay tuned at the end to find out.
Ooh, child, things will get brighter. Now bring it down hard.
Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt used to be known as the lovable oaf Andy Dwyer on Parks and Recreation.
Wow, it's like a sweaty piñata.
Hey, my iPod!
Oh, yeah.
But that image was completely transformed overnight when fans and critics globally got a look at him topless in the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy back in 2014. In it, the world was stunned to see a chubby Pratt looking totally jacked and totally ripped. Everyone was drooling and dying to know how he transformed so quickly. But Pratt was no stranger to getting in shape for a role. He had previously done so for Moneyball and Zero Dark 30 with no hesitation or troubles. But to play Star-Lord was a completely different matter. Pratt had to take his training to a whole other level. And as the world saw in that trailer, the results were incredible. But how did he do it? What was his regimen? Did he have to suffer on iceberg lettuce and protein shakes? Or did he have a personal trainer day in and day out?
For only $300, you can sign up right now for my 8-week program.
Well, his diet was carefully calculated. He ate 4,000 calories and worked out 5 days a week. In the 8 months leading up to shooting, he shed over 60 pounds and gained quite a significant amount of muscle to add to his frame.
No one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
Tom Hardy. It is globally recognized by fans and critics that Tom Hardy is an incredibly physical actor. Hardy is capable to express a lot of intensity without even uttering a word. And his intensity is extremely apparent in every one of his roles. When he was cast as Bane in Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight Rises, many were skeptical he wouldn't have what it takes to portray Bane. This wasn't because he lacked the acting chops, but because he might not have the sheer size required for the role. Bane is one big dude at a towering 6 foot 8 inches tall, weighing a staggering 350 pounds. Tom Hardy's only 5'9" and nowhere near 350 pounds. So fans and critics were right to be skeptical. Hardy's also shorter than Christian Bale by 3 inches, and many thought he just couldn't cut it as the massive brute Bane, but Hardy surely proved everyone wrong. Hardy gained 30 pounds, getting his weight up to 200. He also prepared for the role by learning various fight styles for the different action sequences. His weight gain also had affected another film he was shooting at the time of his prep for the Batman film. But Hardy and the lawless director worked it out, and Hardy was able to work on both.
I'd love to keep this up, but I've only got one job here today, and I gotta impress Mr. Stark, so I'm really sorry.
Tom Holland. The world was floored by Tom Holland's transformation. How did the skinny little kid become the shredded Peter Parker in Spider-Man Homecoming?
That's you, right?
No. What do you mean?
Holland had made his first big break in 2012 in the disaster movie The Impossible. The film told the story of a tourist family who lived through the 2004 Indian Ocean tsunami. In it, Tom Holland is a scrawny child. Heck, he was still a kid in the Spider-Man movie. Turns out Holland surprisingly made that transformation with a lot of hard work and dedication. And here we thought it was some sort of serum or radiation involved. Holland actually has a big background in dance. He took dancing classes starting from a very young age. He's also into free running, aka parkour. He even has a long history of practicing gymnastics, which is certainly a huge advantage for someone who portrays the web slinger. His training might have actually helped him to get the role, as his audition tape included him somersaulting in and out of frame. For Spider-Man, he took his training further by implementing a circuit training regimen, electronic muscle stimulation, and boxing. Gal Gadot. The world was up in arms at first when DC had cast Gal Gadot as the lead in Wonder Woman. No, seriously, fans and critics were outraged over this casting decision. Audiences had only really ever known her for a role in Fast and Furious franchise as Giselle. They assumed and believed Gal Gadot would never be able to live up to any of their wildest dreams of Wonder Woman on the big screen. Those assumptions and beliefs were certainly shown wrong when Wonder Woman went on to huge acceptance globally, making it one of the most financially successful superhero films ever. One of their arguments was that she was far too skinny for the part. Given her history as a model, we understand those concerns. Luckily, they were completely off base. To prepare for the role, she trained in various disciplines, including capoeira, swordsmanship, and Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Of her training regimen, Gadot stated on Live with Kelly and Ryan that she trained for months prior to the shoots for 6 hours every day. She would do 2 hours of gym work, 2 hours of fight choreography, and 2 hours of horseback riding. Her hard work paid off because she looked incredible in both of her appearances. Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds has always been in incredible shape, long before he took the role of Deadpool. In fact, Reynolds has been in consistently excellent shape because of the various superhero roles he has portrayed over the years. Each of these roles demanded of him, and he maintained it. A lot of people are quick to say, of course he would stay in shape, or any of these actors, but that's just not true. So many A-list actors let themselves go. Look at Spider-Man 3. Tobey Maguire is definitely not in the shape he was in the first film. Before Deadpool, Reynolds was in The Green Lantern. Before that, he made his shredded superhero debut in Blade Trinity as Hannibal King. Reynolds gained 25 pounds of muscle and was down to a whopping 4% body fat for the role. Oh, and by the way, 4% body fat is borderline dangerous, as your body needs a minimum amount of fat to function properly. Before that, Reynolds claims he was headed down a very unhealthy path, as he was completely careless about what he ate or drank. Since Blade, he had maintained his healthy lifestyle not only for his superhero roles, but for himself.
So, you're the hunter they all fear.
Jessica Biel. So how does an actress manage to prevent becoming typecast after playing the same character on a family-friendly television show for a decade? For Jessica Biel, that was a simple choice: become an action star. But the road from fresh-faced daughter of a reverend on Seventh Heaven to vampire slayer in Blade Trinity wasn't an easy one. You don't just say you want to be an action star and it happens. There are casting calls, auditions, interviews, social media interrogations, and so much more. Or you just know someone.
Moving on.
Yeah, it's definitely nice if you know someone. Always a lot easier that way. Jessica Biel did eventually go on to be cast as a vampire slayer in Blade Trinity, and the true test for her dedication for an action role began. She trained 4 hours a day, 7 days a week. This regimen included over an hour and a half of weight training and cardio. It was followed by an hour of martial arts training and an hour of archery. She would eat 6 to 8 small meals a day and was able to get down to 8% body fat. As a result of all of her hard work, she looked completely killer in the movie, and she was entirely believable as a person capable of slaying a gang of vampires.
My friends, I'm just a man.
Chris Hemsworth. For a lot of actors who are cast as a superhero, they definitely need to go through weight training and bulk on the muscle. But a lot of time, it's not that much muscle they have to bulk on. Mostly, they need to get rid of their baby fat or chub and they're good. But for Chris Hemsworth, it wasn't that simple. He was going to play a Norse god, so he had to look the part. At 6'3", he already had the height to play an imposing figure like Thor, but he lacked the muscle of his comic book counterpart. With such long limbs, it must have been an incredibly difficult uphill battle to achieve the amount of gains he managed to amass for the role, especially considering his slim frame. Back in 2009, we got a good look at Hemsworth's physique in A Perfect Getaway. It was clear that he was in good shape, but still needed to bulk up a considerable amount to play Thor. He was able to bulk up to 215 pounds, but then quickly shed 30 to play in the Formula 1 film Rush, only to bulk up again for the Thor sequel all within a year.
Sorry, son. Look, just give me a chance.
Chris Evans. When you look over Chris Evans' filmography prior to taking on the role of Captain America, it's clear that he was already in pretty damn good shape. Evans had already played Johnny Storm in the Fantastic Four film, so he was by no means a stranger to the training regimen required for a superhero role. Having that physique of his, Evans pushed hard in his training and gained 30 pounds for the role. He admits it was an extremely difficult process, but he's happy he made the decision to get bigger and leaner. His efforts in the gym were so excessive that he would end up throwing up from the strain of workouts.
You just don't know when to give up, do you? I'm on this all day.
Arnold Schwarzenegger would definitely be proud of Evans' hard work. Evans' workout was meant to be functional so that he could remain flexible and agile for the role of Captain America. It had consisted of gymnastics and an intense, grueling 3-day split weight training session. This would allow him to concentrate on specific muscle groups during his training days and make bigger gains. His diet was also extremely high in protein with some complex carbohydrates. Fans and critics are still drooling over his dedication.
You don't trust anybody, that's your problem.
I trust my barber.
J.K. Simmons. J.K. Simmons is a legend, hands down. He is beloved universally by audiences, fans, and critics. There's not much this man does that does not turn to gold, at the very least, even if his film didn't do well. You can be sure it had nothing to do with his performance. When images appeared online recently of the 61-year-old J.K. Simmons working out at the gym, the internet lost their heads. Simmons had just been cast as Jim Gordon in the Justice League, and fans couldn't believe the shape he was in. Only later did fans find out that Simmons isn't even getting in shape for the role. He stated that he's only doing it to stay in shape for personal reasons. Now that's some intense dedication and something to admire. It just so happened that he started filming on the superhero flick, but it was pure coincidence. He looked so massive in the pictures that he could probably beat down Batman if he had to, without any weapons and just his bare hands. This is gonna be a Commissioner Gordon like we've never seen before.
I don't know, General. Guess I'll just have to trust you.
Henry Cavill. Say what you will of Superman in the DC Extended Universe, but absolutely no one can dispute that Henry Cavill looks the part of the red-caped hero. Cavill looks exactly like a Jim Lee drawing brought to life. For his previous role in Immortals, Cavill weighed in at a puny 170 pounds. Cavill knew he had to beef up to make his portrayal of Superman more believable. He wanted audiences to be fully immersed in the vision of what Superman looks like and not distracted by a scrawny version. By the time filming for Man of Steel started, he weighed in at 190 pounds pure muscle. This was only 5 months after being cast. During his bulking phase, he ate between 5,000 and 6,000 calories a day. Cavill stated that his defining moment, which made him become Superman, was during a workout where he was front squatting 305 pounds. Holy crud, that's a staggering amount of weight. After pumping out 3 sets of 4 repetitions, he froze at the bottom of his 3rd rep of his 4th and final set. He could have thrown the bar down, but instead he pushed through. That intense determination is exactly what got him into Superman shape. Which of these transformations shocked you? Any of these transformations you think you could have done better with? What transformations would you have added to the list? Let us know in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to share and like this video and click that subscribe button to join our notification squad so you can stay up to date with all our videos. The answer to our emoji quiz is... Thanks for watching.